Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are doing well, and today we're going to be discussing my reading plans for January. So in the month of January I have a couple of plans for reading vlogs and that. I'll get into that very shortly. But I want to talk about my TBR for Adventurerathon. Now this is hosted by Kirsty from K-Beth Bookish, so stumbling on my words today. I will leave her announcement video down in the description below. Go subscribe to her if you haven't already. She's awesome. So this is like a adventure based TBR readathon game. So Kirsty came up with this back in, well, as I'm filming this, it's 2023 still, but probably by the time this video goes out it'll be like late 31st of December, New Year's, whatever. So she came up with this in 2023, and it's this sort of character-based readathon where you can create your own characters and they go on awesome quests. So this one is a bit more expensive. I'll link the description, I will link the video down below so you guys can go check it out, because Kirsty explains it a lot better than I have. But I have a list here of all the prompts that we need to do for Adventurerathon, so let's get into that list first. Okay, so for the first prompt we have to do is the guild hall. Now we had a choice of 6 tables, and you had to sort of gravitate towards the one you felt you vibed with, basically. So I went for table 2, which is the adventurers. They've seen some stuff and they know what they're talking about. So for this prompt I'm going to go with Raven Black by Anne Cleves. Now this is the first book in the Shetland series, and I am planning on reading all 8 books in this series for a reading vlog. So I'm very excited for that. I love Anne Cleves' books. She's an amazing author. So this one follows Jimmy Perez, who was a cop. So obviously that was my interpretation of it. He's a cop. Cops have seen some pretty weird stuff and they've had adventures, so I thought that's pretty suitable for that. So for the second prompt was the Elder Glade. Now for this we need like a magical / enchanted forest. So for this one I'm going to go with The Poison Season by Marie Rutherford, I think it is. I'll insert the picture up here on the screen. So I had a little bit of trouble trying to find a book for this, because I wanted to read Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, but my library doesn't have it. And I'm doing this thing that in 2024 where I need to either read the books I have or borrow them from the library and try and buy those books. We shall see how that goes. But so I know from the synopsis this has a relatively magical forest, and the cover gives magical forest vibes, so I thought, why not? Let's just go with that. Okay, so prompt number 3 was Cast Village. So this one was to read a title that features a place. So for this prompt I'm going to be rereading Crescent City 1, House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. So this is obviously the first book in the Crescent City series, and the third book comes out at the end of January. So I also am planning to do a reread of the first 2 books and vlog it, and obviously a separate reading vlog hopefully for the third book. Now that probably won't be out till like early February, because obviously it comes out at the very end of January, so, and I need some time to either read the book for the start and edit the video. So I'm quite excited about this. I'll be honest, I didn't love this my first read through, but I absolutely loved it the second read through, and book 2 I devoured it in less than a day. It was so fantastic. So I am hoping to reread this and the second book for January. Alright, so the next prompt was the Daria Ruins. So this prompt basically needed to have history relevant to the plot of the book. So for this one I'm going to go with Red Bones by Anne Cleves. Now this is another book in the Shetland series. So from what I read from the synopsis when I was putting this list together, the case in question focuses on events from the past, and whatever happened in the past affects the present case. So I thought, well, that's obviously, there's some history in the background there. Past events have obviously led to whatever's happening in the present day. So I thought that counts as history. I really don't have a lot of books that have history, I don't think. Or if there are, I have read them. Or they're books I really don't want to get to right now. Like I have the Assassin's Creed Assassin's Creed.
Few moments later.
Robin Hood, the Farseer trilogy, that's it. So I could use that pretty much, but I haven't read any of Robin Hood's books in a long time, so it'll probably be a while before I get to her books. But yes, so this one is going to be my book for that prompt. Alrighty, so the next prompt was Sage's Retreat. Now, for this one we had to generate a random letter, and whatever letter we came through obviously had to be in the title of the book. So I got the letter F. So for this one I'm going to go with Foxglove by Adeline Grace. So this is the sequel to Belladonna. I really enjoyed Belladonna. It was probably one of my most surprising books of last year. So this is the sequel to it. So in the first book we follow a girl who's basically gone through families because she believes that she's cursed and she has this connection to death. And the family she eventually ends up with, she has to solve a mystery of the mother who mysteriously got ill, and she thinks there's obviously more to her death than first thought. So this, of course, is a sequel. It is such a pretty cover. I absolutely love it. Hopefully I like this a lot more. Well, no, sorry. Hopefully I like this just as much as the first book. And the third and final book comes out next year as well. So I'm quite keen to pick this up, and hopefully it's as surprising as the first book was. So the next prompt was Well of Fortune. So for this prompt we had to find a book where the magic comes from a certain source. So for this one I'm going to go with another sequel, and that is Defend the Dawn by Bridget Kemmerer. So this is the second book in the what do they call it? So I'd say it's a Fire the Night trilogy. So in Defy the Night we follow a girl called Tessa who is basically works in an apothecary where there's a sickness basically destroying the kingdom, and the only way to essentially make it better is the magic in this flower that's essentially harvested to make this cure. And the king and his brother basically have control of this magical product. So she and her friend Weston try and, you know, distribute some of this flower's magic to the citizens, because obviously they need it as well, not just the king. So I really enjoyed the first book. I gave it 5 stars. From what I heard about this ends on a cliffhanger as well, but thankfully the last book comes out in January, so hopefully if I really like this I don't have to wait too long for the sequel. Alright, and the final prompt for the Adventurerathon TBR is the Everglow Falls. So this was to find a cover that has both water and a source of light on it. So for this one I'm going to go with Dead Water by Anne Cleves. Again, this is another Shetlands book, so realistically you could use any of Anne Cleves' Shetland books for that prompt, because Shetland's obviously, you know, near water. Okay, so there's just 2 more books I want to talk about before I wrap this list up. So that was my Adventurerathon list. So the next book I want to talk about, like I said before, is the sequel to House of Earth and Blood, which is House of Sky and Breath. So this is book 2. She's a Chunky Beast. I probably won't plan on starting my reread of these until like the last 2 weeks of January, only because I do kind of want to get the Shetland one out the way first and then focus on these 2. Obviously with Shetland being 8 books and these only 2, it's, you know, I gotta get my priorities straight. But I am really excited to reread this. Hopefully I love it as much as I did the first time. I gave it 5 stars the first time, so hopefully that still rings true the second time around. Okay, and the last book I want to talk about is a book that I am reading along with some other booktubers. So we are hosting a read along to The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So I will link that announcement up above and down below for you guys to go check out. So in the month of January we'll be starting obviously with the first book, which is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Now I love the early 2000s movie with Martin Freeman. I think it was the most hilarious film I've ever seen. I watched it on repeat. I just absolutely love it. It's such a good movie, and I can't wait to see how different the book and the movie are. I've heard some people say they don't really like the movie as much as the book, obviously, and there is actually a TV series that was done like a few years ago now, probably before I was even born, but I actually found it on Binge, which is a subscription streaming service we have here in Australia, and I thought, oh, that would be so interesting to check it out once we've actually read all the books. So the live show for this will be at the end of January on Mel's channel. As I said, I will leave all the links to that down in the description box down below, so you guys can go check out that announcement, and hopefully you can join them. Okay, so with a few exceptions, obviously, this is just some of the books I'll be reading in the month of January. I am so excited. I totally forgot about Adventurerathon until Kirsty put the announcement video up, but hey, we're going to set new goals in 2024. We're going to rock it, we're going to kill it, we're going to make it work. So hopefully I can get to all of these beauties through January. Okay guys, so I'm going to leave this video here. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, if you liked it, please do give it the big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to me, I would love it if you did. And I shall see you guys in the next video coming hopefully very soon. Bye.